like if I don't, is there a word for can you lot give me a word for that's what it's giving me.
1, 2, 3.
The eavesdrop.
Oi, oi. Wow, I was really testy. I have notes today because I thought it was very necessary. You know what?
It's breaking me down. If you want it full time, want that day to day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the eavesdrop. My name is Layefa. Thank you for joining me today. I don't even know where to start. Like, should I just get straight into it? Summer Walker broke the internet, at least on my corner of the internet, and I was feeling away, which led to the topic of today's episode. So the thing is, obviously, I usually ask you, or at least this season, I've been asking you, what are you rinsing? What have you been rinsing? And in my case, it has been Summer Walker. It's currently Saturday night as of the recording of this video. Saturday evening, we're going into the night. So this episode usually gets uploaded on a Sunday, and it is the 6th of November. Yesterday was the 5th of November, and if you live in the UK, if you're British, you know that's bonfire night. Remember the 5th of November. The 5th of November, remember, and that's Guy Fawkes night. And I really wanted to go to a fireworks display, and this time round in our borough, which is really annoying, they weren't doing any events. I don't know, no budget, no money, which was really annoying because I love the fireworks, and especially since having children, I really enjoy it. So, and it kind of sets the pace for like Christmas. It's like after Halloween, which is what I don't celebrate. We don't really do that as a family. Even we could do fancy dress, but generally don't do Halloween. Don't do the trick or treating thing. It's a very American thing, which has now become very global. They do it a lot here in the UK now. Like there are roads, like houses on my road that do the whole trick or treat, but I don't. And we don't partake in it. We don't buy sweets for trick or treaters knocking on the door. We don't do any of that. I just think it's, I don't know, my beliefs, like dressing your child up as winch, for what reason? for what reason? I think just culturally, I'm just like, for what reason? Winch, really? Okay. So typically we don't do that. And obviously last year, so I say all of that to say, we do the fireworks display, really pretty, really cute, but they had nothing for us, and we could have gone out into central London, but I wasn't keen on the idea of like coming back home from central London. It's a long thing. It's long for man. I'm not really on it. So we just didn't see any fireworks. We maybe saw some out of our window, and one could argue that we could have done fireworks in our garden. Yes, we do have a back garden. We could have. But first of all, I don't know how to do that. I'm not like health and safety, risk assessment. I'm not trying to do something that I've never done before with fireworks, kids. I'm not trying to do that. So I don't know if a family member knows how to do all of that stuff, and hubby doesn't know how to, I know he don't know how to do that, right? If anybody knows how to do that in the family, yeah, come over, we could do, otherwise I'm just not. So didn't do the fireworks this year, which is a shame. But so usually I'm saying all of that because the plan was go to fireworks and then have movie night. So once a fortnight in my family, which is once every 2 weeks for those who don't understand, we have a movie night. So the kids get to stay up late. We eat popcorn, eat all the sugary, sweety, naughty things, and we have that. So that's what we do every fortnight. So usually if anybody wants to make plans with me, they know that it can't be on movie night, because this is something, it's like date night for the family, for my household. So I had cancelled plans with some friends because we had movie night. We were going to meet up. Yeah. So I cancelled plans, and then unknown to me, like I was aware that Summer Walker's album was coming out very soon, because I was seeing not that I follow her, but I don't know. I had seen clips of her promoting it somewhere, or like putting up the poster of the date that it would be released. So unknown to me, somebody decided to have, or to be fair, I say somebody, I don't even know the person, but had a Summer Walker listening party, which has led to this. So I'm like, hang on, you're having a Summer Walker listening party and I didn't know about this? Or why am I only finding out now at the 9th hour, at the 10th hour? Like, why am I only knowing about this now? And the worst thing about it is it was on my domot. Like, I was like, excuse you? Like, and like, I would have, the funny thing is, because all of you know, well, if you don't know now that R&B music, R&B is my default, right? If anything goes wrong, if I start malfunctioning, if any higgy haggers happening, if I need to reset, it's R&B for me. I can listen to anything, sing anything. You know me. It could be house, it could be country, it could be dance, it could be Afro beats, it could be whatever. But my default, when a girl needs to reset, it's R&B. So to obviously, Summer Walker, if some of you don't know, she is an R&B musician. She's a singer. She's from America. She's from Atlanta, I believe. I want to say she's in her early 20s or mid 20s, right? Not sure. Brown chocolate skin girl. And you know how I am, like, yes, queen. Yes, queen. She's doing it for the R&B. Her first album was called Over It. And this second album is called Still Over It. So to be fair, it sounds like I'm a stan. I'm not a huge like Summer Walker fan, but I do like her songs. Like, she's released some hits, like especially on the first album. And to be fair, I didn't listen to that back to back. I just heard like the really good songs and I was like, yes. So to see that people are having listening parties and I'm only finding out at the 9th hour, I'm like, excuse you? The disrespect, the disregard, the unthoughtful, when you know that I love R&B, like regardless of who it is, I would have been there. Like, you could have told me it was, as long as it's an R&B artist, I would be there. And I'm very much of the, like, I will go somewhere. If it's something that I'm really loving, I will go by myself. I don't need a date. I don't need somebody to rub shoulders with. No, we're all there for one thing, to listen to Summer Walker. I should have been there. So I was having major FOMO. Like, why am I not in this event? Why am I not there? I was having major FOMO, which got me, I thought, no, I need to listen to this album. What am I doing? Decided to listen to it online. And I was like, okay. And then, like, it's really, can I just bounce a little bit? The way music is listened to nowadays is very, obviously, I'm of an era where it was the CD, and MTV based, you'd watch music videos. So it's like, especially if I want to gather my own opinion about something, I have to listen to it first and I have to consume it fast, because especially in the day and age of the internet, and I say this, and I'm doing probably the same thing to some of you who want to listen to it yourself. If you haven't already, sorry, but bare spoilers in it. And to be fair, this is just my opinion. But like, the way music is listened to now, you have to consume it really fast, because by the time you go on the internet, you've got loads of other people's opinions. And whether you like it or not, you will be swayed by someone else's information, someone else's opinion, obviously. And, sometimes it could just sound like an echo chamber and you think, oh, this is what I like because everybody likes it. But do you actually like it? So I felt very pressured to listen to it all at once, very fast. And the album's like 20 tracks? Wait, let me go. So it's like a good over an hour long. Okay, what I'm looking at says 19. Okay, I'm not very accurate. So 19 to 20 tracks, whatever, right? I listened to every single song regardless. And I felt very pressured to listen to it all at once. So that by the time I get back on the internet, and because I was having FOMO because I wasn't at this event, and obviously I'm not really having FOMO, but I would have liked to be in the midst of people that love R&B just as much as I do. And that's why I'm having this conversation with myself, because I don't want to have a conversation with some, like, I don't know anybody personally, or maybe I do, but we've never spoken about it. Usually we're talking about mummy stuff, but like where I'm having a conversation and we're talking about like Summer Walker or like I don't know anybody. So hence me having this conversation by myself with you lot. And here it is. To be fair, when I first heard it, I didn't think much of it, but let me explain. When I first listened to it, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the algorithm. I'm not going to get into it, but for some reason, I listened to it backwards. So I started with Sierra's Prayer and started working my way backwards. And I don't know why I did that, but thinking back, I'm glad that I did, because it gave me a real depiction of each song, like standing by itself. Because when you listen to something backwards, you're not getting the full picture, right? And I wasn't getting the full. So I'm listening to each song, and I'm listening to Sierra's Prayer, and she's praying for a man, and we will get into that. I'm just like, okay. Okay, I'm going through each track, and I'm like, okay, it's a vibe, but is it vibey the way I want it to vibe, right? Because each song standing by itself, it's a very particular mood, and if you hear it, I think for me, hearing it out of context, I didn't resonate with it. I didn't necessarily get it. So then your girl went on Twitter, as you do, and I'm seeing all these tweets, and I'm like, wait, hold up before my opinion changes. I've just listened to this whole album backwards. So obviously it's Saturday night now. The first time I heard it was Friday night, right? I've listened to the album 3 times now, and we're talking an hour plus, going through it track by track by track. I've listened to the album 3 times, and so I was like, oh, Skeen, I've just listened to this album backwards, so that's why it's not hitting the way it needs to hit. Okay, let me start again. And then when I listened to it from track 1, because to be fair, no, it's not that I listened to the album backwards. It was backwards, and it was out of sequence. So some of the songs were just hitting differently and not hitting the way it needed to hit. Can I just say, the first song that I loved, even though I listened to this the album backwards, Bitter hit differently. It hit it. I was like, woo! Because keep in mind, I started with Sierra's Prayer, then I went into Unloyal with I went into it differently, so it was out of sequence, and I was thinking, okay, Bitter hit differently. So that's my favorite track. My second favorite track on the album, Circus. Well, you know what, to be fair, this is not in Bitter is definitely number 1. I wouldn't say Circus is number 2, but it's definitely up there. And Insane, those are my top 3 so far, but obviously mood can change. It's very early stages. I need it to sit. I need the songs to simmer a little bit. I feel like a lot of the tracks, they're more of growers. They're not songs that hit you straight away, like, oh my God, except for Bitter. Mind you, Bitter hit me straight away. So yeah, there's that. Then I was just thinking, loving how I love, like, I haven't listened to music like that in a long time, like sat down and listened from A to B, A to Z. I haven't done that in a long time. So it was refreshing for me to spend time with myself, for myself, and just enjoy an album uninterrupted, no hubby, no kids, just enjoying. And that was like, I felt like that was something that I did for myself, and it was very intentional. It was very selfish, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. It was, for me, it was time well spent. And now I'm making content out of it. How'd you like me now? Anyway, so it got me thinking, the album got me thinking about how unapologetic Summer is. It got me thinking about, like, not that she had to be, and given the circumstances and the situation, you know, she really didn't have to be. Now, let me just, okay, maybe I need to give a little bit of a backstory. So for those of you who are unaware, because I think it might be relatively new that I'm talking, I've got the podcast, but also the visuals go up on my main channel on YouTube, and I'm now talking about music, and you might think, hang on, what's all this? But keeping music is like, before anything else, before, like, music is my love, it's my first love. So a little bit of a backstory. So she is a young musician, black American or African American, whatever term we're using nowadays. This is her second album. I don't know about her projects before that. I feel like after this album, I will like backtrack and now listen to her first album properly, even though I've heard the bangers. I know the ones that I like, and then listen to the projects prior to that and really make a good, like, I feel like I like her musically. I don't know if I necessarily like her as a person, but do I need to? Like, do I really need to? So she had a very public relationship with her producer, her previous producer. He produced her first album, / partner, and now her baby daddy. This album feels like a very cathartic album. It feels like she's just the realest of real, and she was just letting off a lot of steam. So clearly you can tell in the album that there was a breakup, and naturally she's heartbroken. And I feel like what she's done with this album is give a gift to the world. Like, Summer is getting us through winter. That is what is happening here. Summer is getting the girls and the boys through winter this season. That is what she said. You know what? I know is it cuffing or cupping season? I know what time it is. I know that man is not made from wood, and you might feel lonely, but some of us are still a little bit vexed. We're angry and we're not apologetic about it. There you go. Have that, world, from me to you. And I don't even know if she knew she like really deeped the impact that this album can potentially have. I'm not really sure. I felt like it feels like she was just being herself, just being very real. This album feels collectively, listening to it like my third, almost fourth time now, it feels very experimental, because obviously now she's not working with her producer, who was her partner, now her baby daddy, who she's completely annoyed with. It feels a bit experimental, but it's a grower. It's definitely a grower. And it got me thinking about, like, how generally speaking, as women, we are more apologetic than men. And I can, the thing is, I'm somebody who I think I speak about this a lot, because I feel quite, I didn't know how strongly I felt about this until certain things happened. But yeah, I do feel quite strongly about apologies and being accountable. But also sometimes, and it might feel like I'm going off on a tangent, but stay with me here, is that sometimes, because I say sorry a lot, I find myself apologizing for things that are not always my fault. And sometimes it's like I'm doing the victim blaming to myself. And I could imagine, like, not I say I could imagine, I know, having been in breakup situations at then and even now, I would most probably be like, you know what? I blame myself. I'm sorry to myself, because I should have known better, because of my standards, because of my this, because of my that. I should have known better. But she's not doing all of that. And it's so interesting, because like I know some people hate comparing girls and boys, but I have young children, and honestly, I've already noticed it, and maybe it's because I don't know, my daughter picks things from me, but generally speaking, I find that my girl apologizes more than my boys. She'll apologize when it's her fault. She'll apologize when it isn't her fault. She'll apologize when she doesn't have to, right? And so maybe somebody could argue this is a good thing, this is a bad thing. Self-esteem, blah, blah, blah. No. She's a very young child, and I noticed that my boys don't do that. They don't. Like, they'll apologize. They will apologize when they do things wrong, but it's like, it's just this innate thing of just not like they're not taking accountability, but just not thinking quick enough to like just to solve the problem. Let me say sorry because it's my bad. I'm at fault. Like, sometimes it might just be, especially with one of my boys, it might just be a stare, and you could tell that it's it's a sorry stare. Like, he's staring at me or staring at the person that he's up, like he's not happy about whatever the situation. But instead of opening his mouth to say sorry, it's like, why are you just staring at me? And then the sorry, or I know this sounds very weird, but I'm not sure if I'm explaining this well. Maybe we need like a psychotherapist or somebody who really who knows how to explain what I'm saying better. And I think there are statistics to back what I'm saying, that generally speaking, women apologize more than men. And I'm definitely that person who's quick to say sorry. And I feel like I've given the situation or the circumstances that like Summer Walker has clearly found herself in, I would have been blaming myself. I would have been angry at myself, not just angry at the person, but angry at myself. But obviously, you know, just like with many things, like breakups, it's a grieving period. There's a period of going through many different emotions, and maybe she has gone through these emotions that I mentioned, of just being like, man, I should have known better. Like, I'm too nice for him in the first place, or like, you know what I mean? But even with all of these different processes of grieving a breakup, I would love to ask her, like, at what point did she start writing? At what point did she pick up the pen? Was it during the mess? Was it in the midst of the messiness? Or was it after the mess? Was it like after everything has happened? Or like, and I want to know, are things still happening? Are things still messy? Because to be fair, when we go into fourth baby mama, ooh, we will talk about that. It's like, ooh, it almost sounds like things are still messy. It almost sounds like things are still messy when we go into the track fourth baby mama. Almost sounds like things are still messy. So I almost want to question, like, how soon after did she start writing? I want to know, was it like, I want to know, like, minutes. Like, I want to know, was it minutes? Was it hours? Was it days? Was it weeks? Was it like, I want, give so that I can really be in that process. Because when I tell you, she was so real. Even on Twitter, people have said, you know, she starts off defending her man, and then at the end of the album, she's praying for a new one. Like, what? It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I think it's really important because in terms of storytelling, she did it well. She did it superbly. And I love a story being told. I'm not going to lie. And I think Bitter really just sets the tone for it. And like, I want to know at what point did she write that? When? Summer, tell us when. Tell us when. And you know what I love? Cardi B is a G. Cardi B, clearly I am late to the game. Cardi B, and if some of you are wondering who is Cardi B, she is an American rapper. She came from one of these reality shows. I can't even remember now, but listening to that voice message at the end of Bitter, it was so raz. It was so real. It was, you know how some people say ghetto chic when it comes to fashion, right? This was ghetto sweet. It was like hood sweet. It was hood sweet. It was like, the thing is, with Cardi B, that message was, it was poetic. It was just, and she wasn't even trying. You clearly see that she wasn't really trying to be poetic, but in the way that she says things, and she's like, you know what, I don't know if this nonsense is true, and I don't care. She was giving me big sis vibes, but she was like, that's what it was. She was giving big sister vibes, like, take my advice, I've been through this. Don't let these girls get clout from you. You get the clout from there. Put it in your music, put it in your songs, make it special. I can't say it the way she said it, because it was just so perfect. And it just gave me like a respect for Cardi that I didn't even know that I had. I didn't even know that I could have. And it just made me think like something very simple in what she's saying, but it just feels like wisdom and intelligence. Like, that's what it felt like, wisdom and intelligence. Like, it just felt just beautifully done. And it really, the voice message really set the pace for the rest of the album. Keep in mind, I had initially listened to the album back to front, inside out. So I liked some songs, but I really wasn't getting it conceptually. Like, what it set, listening to the voice message set the pace. And what is interesting, I almost want to argue that voice message is real. Like, I wonder how many of us are asking, because it just feels, I mean, either she's a very good actress, it just feels too real, too authentic, too, I don't know you, I don't need to know your business, but if this is the thing, if this is the tea, put it just, I'm like, how did they make an agree? I'm assuming that like Summer Walker must have just reached out to her and said, you see that voice note you left me, I really want to put it on my next project because it's beautiful. Because can you imagine? You're just being yourself. You're just saying your own truth. You're speaking your own truth, and you're just, wow, you're making bank just like that. Oh, I love it. It set where I'm going, as I said, it set the pace, and it helped to narrate the story of the album, and, you know, going through heartbreak, bitterness, backing your man, and also like pettiness and being angry, but like, and just keeping it real and keeping it real hood. And I love that it was just, to be honest, when it comes to songs, like most people like a story. I'm a sucker for a story. I love a story being told, and I love it being told well. She gave us the beginning, the middle, and the end, and all the meat, all the meres that were inside. I like the richness. I like how well thought out it was. The placement of each track, it just made sense. And, you know, I don't like songs that are very sort of, I don't like that elusive nonsense and it doesn't really make sense and you don't necessarily get it until the penny drops after the fact. I mean, they're great, but no. Tell me the story. Tell me what happened. Where were you? What were you wearing? What was the weather like? What color was the sky? I want to draw out a picture for me. And I think that's why, like, Black people love like country music so much. And stay with me here. I know it sounds like I'm going off on a tangent, and I'm not. Most Black people, believe it or not, and I'm talking outside of if you can hear fireworks, you know, I've already told you what season it is. Most black people like country music outside of the UK, outside of Europe, I'm sure outside of America. If you go to African countries, like I grew up listening to country, right? That says a lot. And my mum wasn't like raised in the UK. She, you know, raised in Niger. I grew up listening to country. And even if you go to a lot of Caribbean countries, you'll find a lot of them listen to country music. And I think it's because of the history with black people and country music. Keep in mind that country music, and a lot of you don't know this, but gets to know, it actually it originates from the African American culture. And my understanding is that it was when I suppose the slaves would be making a mockery of their masters. And then when I suppose these masters or the white people would go to these shows and events and they would do blackface, they would then make a mockery of their slaves, you know, how they're singing or whatever. So it's like them making a mockery of the slaves, making a mockery of them. But then who gets to make profit out of this genre? Whites. They you know, they make profit out of it. They're now the gatekeepers of it. Anyway, I say all of that because country music is like, you know, somebody would argue it's like white people's version of soul, but then it's like, hang on, this soul actually started from black people. Anyway, I went all about all of that to say, look, the storytelling for this album, A+. The way Cardi B with that message set the tone, set the scene for us, helped us understand this is the energy that I'm about to give you lot for this album. This is what it is. This is what it is. And you know what else I like? Do you know what? I haven't said much about, or should I say much about that? You know what? I want to touch quickly on, because I'm not going to talk about every single track. I just want to make some some points that I noticed. So I've already said that Bitter, my favorite song on the album, Circus and Insane. I like the Circus gives me very like that old school R&B. I mean, it's a whole old school R&B. I mean, that's what she did with the first album, clearly. But I mean, Circus gives me a very old school R&B vibe. It's not long enough. I like, what is it about Circus that I like? Maybe it's the melody, and Insane as well. It's like the way she's layered her voice, and it's very interesting because most of the songs on this album, they stop quite abruptly, and I think it sends the tone of her, you know, of what she was feeling or is feeling at the time of going through this thing. Like each song stops very sharp. Like, you know, I love Mariah Carey, and we'll talk about Mariah Carey in another episode, but with a lot of her songs and a lot of pop songs, like the song kind of fades out, it fades away. These songs, no, they just when you think it's going to keep going, it just stops abruptly, and then you're waiting for the next track. If I don't, is there a word for can you lot give me a word for that's what it's giving me. Should we talk about fourth baby mama? I want to say baby mother, but it's baby mama, and I don't think I say it very well with my accent, but you know what I mean. Fourth baby mama. You see that track, yeah, it's not my favorite, like melodically, like vocally, or like as a song. Like I wouldn't listen to it by itself because it's not necessarily something, I think a lot of women will be able to relate to this. A lot of women will be able to relate with this. And clearly she chose violence. When she came with this song, she said no, because I wasn't really, but then with when she came with the first line and she was like, first I'm going to start with your mum, who should have whooped your ass. Chai, like she said, I'm drawing not just London out. The name of that's her ex-partner's name, her baby daddy's name is London. Because initially, when I was listening to the song back to front, inside out, and she mentioned London, and obviously I'm a Londoner, I'm thinking, what's London got to do? I'm like, what's London got to? What did we do to you? Like she asks in Bitter, London, did you really sleep with her? So I'm like, What, he slept with the girl in London, not really clocking, oh, the guy's name is London. Anyway, she's drawing him out. She's drawing everybody out in this song. Look, this this song is like, oh, if you want the tea, if you want all of the juice, that song right there, Fourth Baby Mama, if you just want to dissect, I feel like that song alone just needs it just needs like a moment so that one can just sit and dissect. Can we talk about honesty? A lot of people are going to be angry when they listen. A lot of people, especially if they know her personally, are going to be vexed when they hear it. What? Summer, excuse you? But she's like, yeah, I'm calling a spade a spade. This is what you should have done. You should have whooped his ass so that he's not doing all of this tomfoolery about the place. Now I'm the fourth baby mama. Okay, Skeen. Love it. And you know what? It's kind of reminds me of, and I say it reminds me of this song because I've only listened to this song recently, but I was listening to Lioness is a British UK, of course it's UK. She's a black British rapper, and she has this song called 10 prick commandments, but the way she spells prick is like prick commandments. And I was watching a performance. How I came across it is because I was watching a performance that she had done. Follow me here. I know it sounds like I'm going off. Stay with me. So I was listening to a performance that she done of this song called 10 Prick Commandments. And commandment 1, she says, don't be fooled by the mum. She's only riding for her son. I'm sure that's how the line goes. And it just brought me back to what Summer Walker was saying in, Fourth Baby Mama about, like, your mum should have whooped you up. Like, mother of boys, and I'm a mother of a boy, 2 of them, should I add, we need to do better. Like, no, I say we need to do better. Some of us are doing very well. Some of us are doing very, very well. But the idea that we, generally speaking, it's known that mothers, we baby our boys, we baby them too much, and we bring up our girls to be wives and be carers for others, and we don't necessarily do the same for our boys. So it's very interesting that you've got 2 different women from different walks of life, I'm assuming maybe similar walks of life, and they're saying very similar things. The way Lioness says, don't be fooled by the mum. She's only riding for her son. Raise your hand. Can I just get an eye? Raise your hand if you have been seeing a guy. My hand is right up in the air. If you've been seeing a guy and he's introduced you to his mum or his dad, and the mum is there calling you daughter-in-law and whatnot, but as soon as you leave and he brings the next chick home, she's doing the same thing. She's only writing for her son. She's doing all of this, and it's like, no. Why, like, mums? I don't know if it's mums of that generation. Like, why aren't we doing better? Why are you letting that happen? You're a woman. From a woman's point of view, like, why are you letting, fair enough, he's your son, but why are you letting him be out there breaking hearts, like killing girls on, not obviously killing girls on road, but like hurting feelings? Why are mothers letting that happen? Like, if you're gonna, be open and honest with females. So I think that's like, I'm calling out myself, like, as a reminder that I should, as my boys are getting older, to listen to this back, watch this back, and just be like, be respectful to women, treat women nice. Don't do all of this higgy hagger that you might see on, because the funny thing is, generally speak, I say it's funny, but it's not funny. Generally speaking, society is it's a societal norm for boys, men to just be doing all of the tomfoolery and breaking hearts. It's very normal. It's considered, but that's, a man is gonna be a man, boys will be boys, small cheating, what is it, can't you man it? No, but you're a woman as well. And how did you feel when daddy broke your heart? I'm saying daddy as if this is my situation. It really isn't. But I'm just saying, how did you feel when daddy was doing all of this and all of that? No, it's not nice. It's not nice. And I think a lot of us girls can relate to that. It's just them. And you know what, as well, just on the whole premise of relatability, this album is not for everyone. As much as you might like R&B, it might not be for everyone, because there's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of nigga this, nigga that. And I'm black, so I can say that. But but it's like, you can't listen to this in the car with the kids in the background. You can't. This is when you want to spend time with you. This is spend time by myself kind of music. This is not for the man. She didn't give any look. She left nothing for the man. No crumb, not even a crumb for the man them to say, yeah, take, I dash you this. All right, girls. Like, you can tell that I'm a girl's girl. I'm hoping you can tell that I'm a girl's girl, and I love a girls anthem. I love the idea of calling men out, drawing them out. I so much love it. I so much love it. And I just like how unfiltered she is. I like the pettiness. Did I already say I like the anger? If I didn't, I'm saying it now. I enjoy the anger, because for oftentimes, especially as black women, like, I'm a full human being. I am, and I have all emotions. I'm allowed to be angry. And can we just sit in that for a minute before moving on? I'm allowed to be I'm allowed to be emotional. Can I be emotional for a minute? Like, we're going through a lot generally in life. First of all, we're trying to deal with this F-boy, this dude who is just messing up our lives. Then society is not helping the situation. Then this, then that, then I've got a baby on my arms. Okay, now we're back to summer. You know, it's a lot. And it's funny because some of you, some people who know me in real life be like, rah, I didn't know that you listened to this sort of, as I said, R&B is my default. It is like I could listen to something like this, and in the same breath, I like next day or in a couple of hours, I'll be listening to Holy Are You Lord, like listening to Hallelujah, like something just totally off. But just because, you know, when you're a lover of music, when you're a lover of sounds, you generally like a lot of different things. But I feel like for most people, and maybe it's not for most people, but for myself, I found what my default is. I know what my reset is. I know what like my fallback is. So that's why I should have been at the listening party, but you lot, I'll let it slide for now. So here, yeah, I'll let it slide for now. But next time we're not doing that. It's just not on. You can't be having these if it's an R&B event, my name should be there. Do you get? And even if I don't want to come, like, give me the option to say, you know what, I'm all right. You know, I can't make it. Like, give me but you didn't even give me the option because I found out too late. Okay, clearly emotion. Fourth Baby Mama, great track for what it is. Not like it's not something that I'm going to listen to on a regular basis or go back to, but I think also it helps to put the story together, because what else did I want to say? The collaborations. I'm just going to talk about the main two collaborations that I picked up on, which was obviously SZA and Ari Lennox. I feel like SZA, that track for me is a bit of a slow burner. I might need to, I don't know. And to be fair, I don't know what it is. I felt like their tones sound very similar. Obviously, SZA has a style in which she sings. They complement each other very well. But I was like, no, you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it didn't grab me like that. Ari Lennox, her voice on Unloyal, especially when she went higher for the second chorus, and her voice, yeah, that was a bit of me. That you see this album, yeah? You know what? It depends on your mood, because this album will make you hate your baby daddy and you don't even have a baby. It will make you hate your baby daddy when you don't even have a child. You don't have a child. So you have to be like, if you're in a good mood, you have to be careful what you listen to. Because I want to say, like, it's going to help the girls through winter and the guys. It's going to help the girls and the guys through winter. Summer is helping us all through winter. And especially if you're somebody who likes to do, if you're a bit like me and you like to draw and paint, and especially when you're having like a bit of you time and quiet time and you're just, you want just something, you're doing something, or you're cleaning. You know what? R&B is good to clean to when you're cleaning the house, or you're painting, or you're, doing, or you're cooking. I don't really listen to R&B whilst cooking. I might listen to something a little bit Afrobeat or whatever, but not R&B. R&B is great for cleaning. I do. I love me that. Put on Summer Walker. Your house will be clean this winter. Clean, spotless. Because you'll be scrubbing and angry, and I know a lot of people clean. Can I raise their hands? Do you clean? Like, is that part of your therapy? Like, obviously, I'm asking, do you clean? Obviously, everybody cleans. Well, some people don't. But do you clean as part of your, like, just therapy? Like, you just needed to do a deep clean. You're stressed out. It de-stresses you. Summer Walker will help you keep your house tidy, your apartment tidy, your bedroom tidy. Look, I feel like collectively, have I said this? The album feels very experimental. It does, because I feel like she's gone a little bit against the grain, and it's clearly very different to her first album. Keep in mind, I haven't listened to her first album thoroughly, but from some of the tracks that I've heard on the first album, I can tell that this is not the same. And obviously, she's not working with the same producer, but it sounds like it's very experimental. It's not the best R&B album ever, clearly. I think what I'm trying to quote is people saying this is R&B album of the year. Now, possibly, because have we had anything better this year? And is anything better gonna come anytime soon? Because she's really tapping into a lot of emotions. It's really relatable. It's the hood sweet for me. It's the cursing. I even like that. You know what is interesting as well? Even the style in which she chose to sing in, or I don't know if she really did this in her first album, because keep in mind, I didn't pay attention. I only listened to the bangers. It's this style of when you're sing talking or sing rapping, when you can sing but you're not really singing, but you're talk singing to get a lot of words out and to make your point, but you're still rhyming, and it goes with the melody, but it sometimes goes off the melody, so it's not your conventional pop song. It's the sing rapping, it's that, and then the production. I love the layering of the vocals. That was giving me like Brandy-esque vocal, Bible-esque, obviously clearly not to that level, I'm not saying that, but it was giving me that. Who else does? I mean, obviously Beyonce's been doing, in a lot of her current music, been doing a lot of sing rapping, which makes people, that's why people be saying nonsense like Beyonce can't sing when she been singing, right? She been singing. She been there singing. So allow her to sing, talk, sing, rap if she wants to. Who else does this well? And I think I always mention him because I like his style. But Shaka, a British artist, he does a lot of like sing talking, so he's not really singing, like you can hear it in his voice that he can, like, if he wants to, he can sing, but it's like a little bit of a talk singing, like I'm just gonna kind of thing. That's the kind of, I say all of that because I feel like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting a little bit from this album. A lot of sing talking, which I'm not mad at, but if you know me, I do like I like a melody. I like, and maybe it's because I like the conventional sound. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And what is conventional and what's traditional? What's that? But like if I had to give the album a 5-star rating, if we do we do 5-star ratings for songs for albums? I know we do it for movies, but do we do it for albums? Because as I said, I've listened to it almost 4 times now. Oh my goodness, before I even give it its rating, should I just touch quickly on Sierra's prayer? Because I haven't said much about it, and it's the reason being is no, to be fair, I don't have any, like, there's nothing, it's perfect. It's perfect. Like, it really is. I think a lot of women will, and men will relate with that. Will be reciting that prayer, will memorize the prayer and be praying that prayer until they find, or the man of their dreams or woman of their dreams finds them. The prayer is great. You know what else I love? The affirmations at the very beginning. So before bitter drops, there's, you've got the affirmation. You know what, Summer did something, like, you've got the affirmations at the beginning, then the prayers at the end. I love that. You know what, it's very, and I don't know if this was inspiration, but it gives me, do you remember Destiny's Child's album? At the end of every album, they would sing like a gospel song, it's almost like to seal the album, to close it, to end it well. They would sing like a gospel track. And although she's not singing a gospel track, but it's that whole, like, having a wholesome message to the project, the story. So at the beginning, girl, you say your affirmations. I am that bad B. I don't think that's one of the affirmations, but you get my point. And the prayer at the end, beautiful. And obviously how poignant to have Sierra as the person saying the prayer, especially with her own testimony and her life now, given, her previous track record and the relationship she's been in, and maybe, some them being unsuccessful. It just made sense. She was like, you know what, Sierra, you see how you got your man, you see the prayer that you prayed for that man. Summer Walker said, the prayer that you prayed, I need you to come and anoint my projects. And it's like, I need you to come and anoint this thing so that me too, I can have that same testimony that you have. Me too, I want it. And everybody listening, anybody who choose to listen, they too shall have it in Jesus' name. Say amen. But you know what I mean? So I think it makes great sense. So now for my 5-star rating, I'm going to give it a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. So it's really good. Great album. I think why I'm not giving it a full 5 stars is because, again, I listened to the album back to front, inside out. So listening to each song outside of the story, I'm not sure how much I like the album. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I picked my I was able to pick my faves, but like, this is like what, 19, 20 tracks, however many tracks there are. And so far I've only picked 3, but keep in mind, it's still early days and my mind may change. And I think a lot of the tracks are growers. And going back to what I said at the beginning is, I'm like, if I'm going to listen to music before I get everybody's opinion, it's just a different way to listen into music from when I was growing up. Like, you buy the CD, you take your time, you enjoy it, but it's like, because of how fast the internet moves and information moves, it's like I felt the need to listen to it quickly before I had got everybody's opinion, because maybe that's because I knew I wanted to talk about it. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I found. Because there are some, like, artists, just who are not Summer Walker, who I've intentionally not listened to because there's been too much noise and I want the noise to die down before I listen. But in this case, it was only because I was like, I didn't get to go to the listening party, so I had my own and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think it will be interesting to see how each song stands on its own for me personally. What songs will I add to my own personal playlist? What songs will I add to the Layefa's lounge list? And then I could be like, yeah, okay. And then I can see. But so far, I think definitely 4.5 stars out of 5. I like that she was experimental. I like how real she was. I like how honest it was. I like how some of the melodies weren't not that they weren't your typical. She just gave something different. She gave what I want to say she gave what needed to be giveth. Am I a serious person? But yeah, I really can't believe I wanted to talk about more things. I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about like some things that happened. Like I wanted to talk about some parenting things, but I've spoken so much. I can't believe I've just chatted the whole chat about summer. That's why I knew I needed to get into it. Maybe we'll do that next time. We can chat some other things and I can add my bits and bobs because now time is going. I want this to be up tomorrow. Fireworks are fireworking. I hope you have a great what? Oh, because this is going up on Sunday. I hope have a good week, have a good working week. If you're an R&B lover, you're gonna love this album. I think so. At least a few songs. There will be a good few songs to take away. A good few songs, and I'd be interested to know actually if you've listened to the album already, what are your favorites? Because I'm gonna take my time. I'm now that I've got this out there, I want to take my time, really sit in it, and be like, oh yeah, that one's a banger. That one, yeah. And also might have to backtrack and listen to the first album over again and so forth. So you know what? Shout out to Summer Walker doing the damn thing. When you come to London, oh please give us a performance and call me. I say call me like you have my number. DMs, like I leave all my details in the bio, in the description box. However one may be watching me. I need, when you're in London, whenever that happened, whenever whenever the pandemic stops pandemicking, or you wanna, I know with personally her, social anxiety. Wow, I'm really battering my microphone. I understand the thing, but when you're back in London, let me know because I would like to be there. Let me know. Not like these people that be having Summer Walker parties and be telling me on the 9th hour when I can no longer, how will I manage childcare? How will I can't live because you told me for worry. I'm not serious. I'm just playing, everyone. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Do the right thing. Rate at Apple Podcasts. It helps me out a lot. You write a little comment, give me a little stance, let me know your thoughts. If you're watching on YouTube, I love the interaction. I really do like, and you know what as well, I think, because I don't know if I've said this already, but I'm gonna say it now. Sometimes I meet people in real life, like who maybe have come across my content before, and they'll say, oh my goodness, you stopped posting. And I'm like, no, I've been like, it's not that I stopped posting, you stopped watching. Are you hitting the notifications? And to be fair, I have had people say to me that they are part of notification gang, but they don't get notified. So clearly and I'm talking specifically for people who listen and watch via YouTube. The algorithm is not algorithming for me, and it's not algorithming for you. So the only way you can help that is to type in my name, type in Love Layefa, type in The Eavesdrop, so that you can find me, and then you can see what is what is the most recent upload and the most recent episodes of these podcasts. Because if you don't do that and you're part of notification gang and you're not being notified, it's because the algorithm doesn't like me, and maybe it doesn't like you either. So maybe you need to get into that pattern of typing in my name, because sometimes it's really weird. And I think I've heard somebody else say this, but you have to like train the algorithm to get it to bring up content that you like. And I think some time ago, especially, what's that thing on Netflix that came on? Was it the social experiment, or the social something? And it was like a documentary about algorithm and YouTube and social media and all that stuff, and the biases and the people that make these algorithms and whatnot, the biases. So if you want to see more of me, what I'm saying, and you're part of notification gang, but you're not being notified, you need it. Maybe that's just not enough. You need to type in my name once a week and see what you find, so that you could be up to date. But yeah, oh my goodness, that was such a long outro. You know what? Bye. Bye. Good night. Bye.
Eavesdrop.